Hi everyone, so today I wanted to talk about those times when we feel like our lives have like there's a pattern whereby this thing keep happening to you. You feel like you keep messing up, or this thing doesn't feel good. You wonder why God allows it to happen. One thing I learned is that God created us, and He knows us better than we know ourselves. And in my experience, what I've learned is that God has made me a person that's determined, that I don't give up. I keep trying and I keep pushing, and I'm an encourager. I encourage a lot of people. I encourage myself, and I find that at school there was a group that I hang out with, and most times I would be the one in the group that was like lagging behind. But I always had a positive attitude, like things are going to work out, this is going to get better and everything. And everybody else in the group that was doing better than me, they seemed to be the ones who were more worried than I was. And one thing that God has shown me is that, He created me to be an encourager, and He knew that, even though I would fail or I would fall behind, that I wouldn't give up. He knew that that's the way He created me, and He knew He put that in me. It took me a while to realize that that's what God created, how God created me, and that those things were in me. But God knew it all along, and He knew that even though I fell down, that there are times when it's going to be painful for me, and I'm going to ask Him why. I was going to cry, like all these things would happen to me. He knew that that would happen, but He allowed these things to happen because He knew, how He created me. He knew how strong I was, and that I can handle this. God's word said that He wouldn't give us anything that we can't bear. Like everything that God allows in our lives, even though as painful as it might seem or it might feel, God knows that we can handle it. If He didn't know that, He wouldn't have allowed it. But we need to, sometimes we need to learn, or we need to get to that point where we understand that, okay, you know what? This is how I've been, this is what I can handle. Because now I know that, okay, God allowed me to, and then this came to me today because it's like, I am not afraid to use, like, okay, there's somebody around me that does better than me. I'm not going to be intimidated by them being better than me and think, because I didn't do well and you shouldn't do well too. I know that I'm going to use my thing and encourage them, because I like to encourage people. I encourage myself. So I can use my results to encourage them, to let them know, what? Like you usually do better than me, and if I can do this well, then you can imagine how good you can do, and I would use my situation or my scenario to encourage them, and not to feel like, okay, you know what, because I didn't do well, then you shouldn't do well too. God knew how He created me. I didn't know this all along. It took me some time to learn this, to learn myself, and that's why as we grow, we learn ourselves, we understand, what, I'm this, or I'm somebody that gets irritated fast. I need to control this, or keep this under control, or work on this or work on that. We learn ourselves, right? So I realized that I'm an encourager, and I'm determined, and that even though I might be falling down, be lagging behind, that I can have a positive attitude about life and encourage others around me. And God knew that. It took me a while to understand that that was my purpose, and that's what God wants me to do. And that's how He created me. And when these things happen, I used to question, like, what is wrong with me? I used to feel like there's something that's wrong with me. Why am I lagging behind? I'm trying to keep passive attitude, I'm trying to this, I'm trying to that, and still I'm lagging. And everybody else around me that's doing well, and they worried about, like they this and they that. But I realized that God was using me in that group, or using me in my environment to be an encouragement, because He knew I wouldn't give up. He knew I would fall 10 times and not give up. And when somebody can see, and sometimes we think about our purpose, and sometimes we feel like, it's going to be something grand and glamorous, and, nothing, we not worry about nothing. And so sometimes our purpose, God knows how He built us. We go through trial after trial after trial, but we be strong and be positive, and so. And then somebody else come and they say, I don't understand how you can be so happy or so positive, and look at all these things that you go through. I don't know what I would do if I was you, But the thing is that even though that's painful to that person, and yes, there are times when they might get tired, God knows that they're not going to give up. God knows that they're going to make it. That's why He allows it, and He's allowing it for His glory. But basically, at the end, when people see how this person you know. And the next thing too is that God can trust that person. He can trust that that person is going to go through trial after trial and not give up on him. Because then people can now look at their situation and see, you know, like how you can keep together, and then they can then, you know, get an opportunity to testify and say, you know what, girl, or you know what, boy, you know, like God gives me a peace, and you know, even though I'm going through this, I know God has a plan and this, and you can be so encouraging. And that other person that came and said, I don't know what I would do if I was you, or I won't take this so easy, and so it's like God won't put them through that, because God knows that maybe they're not ready for that, or they can't handle that thing, you know. But God gives us what we can handle. Yes, it might be painful, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it, or we're not going to be successful in it. And we realize that, you know, look at our patterns in life and see the things that we know we might be struggling with all the time, and realize, you know, why am I struggling with this? Because God created you, and God knows what you can handle. The thing is, we learn as time go by, you know, I'm good at this, or you know, this don't really bother. I don't allow stuff to bother me, right? I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person. And we learn ourselves as time goes by. But God knows us, so at times He's going to bring things to us. Like for example, you know, I didn't know that I could do craft and could do all these things. Like I would never tell, like my parents might never tell you that, okay, Joanna's going to be an artist, or Joanna's going to be this or so, right? But God knew it, you know. And sometimes He might bring something to you, and you're like, why are you giving me this? Like, you know, what am I supposed to do with this? God is like, make something with it. And I'm like, what? Make something with it? I don't know how to make something with it. And God is like, yes. I'm like, no, you know, like I never made anything before. But God is like, you know, yeah, you can. When I made you, I give you such and such ability, and it's time that it's revealed, that it comes out, you know. And then now you gotta say, okay, and then you go and sit down, and then you try and you realize, wow, I didn't know I can do this. God is like, I knew, you know, like I created you, I knew. So it's like God puts things in us, and we don't even know that these things are in us, but He knows. He allows situations to come your way, you know. Sometimes, like I look at people that, you know, have children that have these diseases or these conditions that cause the parents to have to work extra harder with them, you know, and it's a bit challenging for the parent. But I look at them and sometimes I feel like, I don't know if it was me, like I don't know if I could handle that, you know. Like it seems like so much work, and it's I don't know, it just feels so painful to, you know, to know that, you know, this is it for the rest of your life, you know. But God give that person that child, because God knows that person is capable of taking care of that child, and capable of doing something. Doesn't mean that at times you're gonna want to give up. Doesn't mean at times you're not gonna get tired. You're not gonna want to say, God, why, you know, or you know, question God about the situation. It just means that despite this, or despite all the things that are happening, you're not gonna give up. And that's why I believe that God doesn't just like when God gives us things or brings situations in our lives, He doesn't, you know, bring it because He knows that this person is invincible and they don't feel pain, they don't struggle, they're strong, and they're strong, yes, right? But God knows that we're gonna fall. He knows that there are times we're gonna crawl in the corner and be like, God, I just need a moment alone, you know. And He knows that there are gonna be those times, but yet He gives this thing to us because He knows that despite we're doing that, or we're gonna feel that way, that we're not gonna give up. There's some people that they feel that way and they're gonna give up, and God knows who, you know. But there's some people that God knows that they're not gonna give up, so He allows them to have it because He knows that they're gonna cry, they're gonna distance, and don't feel like you're weak because you do those things. See, God don't know that, God don't foresee that these things are gonna happen, that you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, and He still allows whatever He allows, right? So it's not that He chooses people based on, oh, you know, you gotta be strong, you gotta be this, you can't shed a tear or anything, you know. He doesn't choose us like that. So sometimes I feel like, you know, we think that that's the way that we need to be portrayed, you know. And anytime we shed a tear or we feel weak, we think that, okay, you know, it's all over and that God can't use us anymore because of that. And God is like, You think I didn't know that this would happen? You think I didn't know that this would be painful for you? You think I didn't know all this thing? I knew this, and I know what's going to happen next 10 years from now, but I still allow this because I know that even though you feel the way you feel, I know you're not going to give up. That's why I allow it. Anyway, the whole gist of the message is that, you know, you're going to go through your struggles, you're going to go through your trials, right? And remember that God's word said he's not going to give you more than you can bear. So even though it's painful, just realize that, you know what, if God allowed it, and he knows me better than I know myself. He created me. He knows what's in me. I don't know everything that's in me as yet, but he knows. I'm going to trust that, you know what, I can do this. And yes, there are times when I'm going to want to take a break. I'm going to step back a bit. I'm going to feel like, God, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Or I'm going to feel as if like just dropping on the ground and just staying there for a while, you know. I'm going to feel that way, and that's okay. God knows that you would do that. God doesn't come and say, wait, I thought you could handle this. You know, God doesn't come to us and be like that. He knows that these moments would come, but he still chooses us. And if he knows and foresees things but still allows it, then who are us to think that, you know, we are not worthy or we're not capable because we struggle, you know, or we feel pain? Who are we to think that way? You know, God knows us better than we know ourselves. Just think of it that way. He created us. It's like an artist or inventor. He know what he created this thing to do. He know what this thing could do, you know. And he knows that, okay, this thing can handle such and such amount of stress or pressure or whatever. He knows that because he created it. He make it to handle certain things. And just how God created us, and he make us to handle things. The people that go through a lot and they come through and they say, wow, I'm strong. I didn't know I was this strong. Or I didn't realize that I was, you know, that this is all that I go through. And, you know, I thank God, you know, like, oh, God brought me through. But God knew that we can handle it. He think he would allow it if he didn't know that we can handle it, you know. Anyway, I just hope that this was encouragement to somebody out there that feels as if they're weak and they should just give up and feel like, you know, they're disqualified, you know, and that maybe God, you know, looking at them as if to say, you know, I really thought you could handle this, but apparently you can't. You know, like God knows that you would have your moments of weakness. He knows it, but yet he still chooses you. And if God can have that faith in you, then you should have it in yourself. Because he created you. He knows you better than you know yourself. If he can believe that you can do it, then you should believe that you can do it. And that when you go through certain trials, that God has a reason why he's allowing you to go through this. Like if you find yourself always struggling, because God want to use you as an encouragement, social encouragement to those around you, you know, because he knows that you are not going to give up and you can handle it. And handling it doesn't mean that at times you're not going to want to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, ouch, it hurts, you know. But God knows you're not going to give up. You just gotta believe in yourself. If God can believe in you, then you should believe in you. And even with myself, like when I look back at that and I see that, and I know I've been through stuff where I, you know, there was a time this year when I went through something when I felt as if, you know what, God, I know that this faith walk requires me to be strong, requires me to do this, and I know that people in the Bible, I think people in the Bible do all these things, but then I felt, I think I even told him, I don't know if I can do it or if I was made for this, you know. And now I'm looking back at that time and I survived it. And he knew that I would survive it. He knew that my mindset would change, that I wouldn't give up, that I would keep striving. That I cried, you know. I felt like giving up. There are times when I felt like a failure. But God knew that even though I felt that way, he knew that I wouldn't give up, that I would keep going, that I would believe that God had a plan and God was working this out for my good. He knew that I would encourage me because God is how he created me, as an encourager, and it's part of who I am. I can't help but do it. And he knew that. You see, I didn't know that. You know, I felt as if God, you know, like maybe you should choose somebody else because I don't think I can do this, because it felt like so much for me. You know, like, God, why are you allowing this to happen to me? Why are you allowing this? You know, you want to ask God, you know, like this hurts so bad. Like, God, why? You know, like, why did you choose me for this? Like, I don't think I can do this, you know. But God is like, girl, I made you. I know what you can handle. I know what you can do. And I know you would, this moment would come when you would feel like giving up. But I also know that you wouldn't give up. You know, and this is how God knows us so well. And this is why we should come back to him and find out, God, you know, what is it that you want me to do? You know, like, what, God, should I do this? Should I not do that? You know, like, God, what's your plans for my life? You know, you created me for a purpose. What's the purpose? It's not about, okay, God, this is what I want to do, and that's what I want to do, and this would be really nice on me, this would look nice on me, and all that. It's about, God, you know, what is it you want me to do? Because I know you know me better than I know myself. So what is it you created me to do? I know you didn't just wake up one day and say, I think I'm going to make Joanna today. I know what she would do, but I'm just gonna make her. You know, I ain't got nothing to do, and I guess, you know, just do something. You know, like, God had a purpose when he created me. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan for my life, and when he put certain attributes in me, when he was putting me together, he knew that, okay, she's gonna be determined, she's gonna be an encourager, she's gonna be this, she's gonna be that. He knew all of that. So there are things that I go through and I feel like, God, I don't know who you think I am, but I don't think I can do this. And God is like, who are you talking to? You know who created you? You telling me? You think I don't know how I created you and what I placed inside of you? You think I don't know that? And the thing is that God knows what we don't know. And the thing is, God doesn't come and hold us and say, you do it, you can do it, you know, like, I mean, he encourages us, but what I mean is that he doesn't force us to do things. We still have to make that conscious choice. And there are times when we push ourselves and we do stuff and then we realize, I didn't know I could do this, or I didn't know I could do that. You know, God knew, but he gives us the gift of choice. He doesn't, you know, pressure us into doing stuff. It's like he gives you a choice and he tells you this is good and this is evil, but you make a choice, you know, and then he leaves it up to us. And I really hope that this was an encouragement to somebody to not give up on yourselves, to realize that what's happening around you, as long as God is in control, it has a purpose, and there's a reason why he's allowing it. There's a reason why he's allowing it, and that you should use it as, I always say, use it as a stepping stone to take you higher, not as a stone to bring you lower. And the enemy would come and he would whisper in your ears and tell you, you better give up, you know, or you better don't worry with this, because you can't really handle this. And if you only decide to go further, it's only going to get worse, you know, and try and tell you all these things to make you give up and not go forward and receive, you know, the blessing that God has in store. Because I've learned beyond fear, there's such a beautiful world beyond fear. It's the getting over that hurdle, is the challenge, you know. And at that point is when the devil, the closer you get to it, he whispers more in your ears. It's like you're going up to this forest, you know, and this forest, everybody always say, oh, I'm going to the forest, this is what's going to happen. And you're always hearing all these songs that come from the forest, hearing all these stories about the forest, and you know, you kind of feel like, I don't want to go there, you know. But then there's somebody that comes and say, do you know what's beyond the forest? There's so much of this and there's so much of that, and everybody knows that there's all these things beyond the forest, you know. But to get there, you got to go through the forest. And there's a lot of people who don't want to go through it and don't feel as if, you know, well, yeah, I want what's beyond the forest, but I ain't going in there, you know, like this could happen to me and that could happen to me. But then it's like you're going up to it and you're going up, and the closer you get, the sound's getting louder, you know. People keep shouting louder, don't do it, don't do it. And the closer you get, the closer you get. And then you decide, you know what, I'm going to do it. And you buckle up and you go through, and you go through, and all the time you're going through, you keep hearing these different songs, and you're going through and you're going through, and then you make it to the end. And you survive. And then you realize that this is not true, or, you know, this was just this, or this was just that, you know. But you had to decide to take that step, that even in spite of all these things that you're hearing and these stories, that you're still gonna do it. And then you can now come back and tell people it's not that bad, you know. Yes, it takes courage, because all the time you're running through, your heart beating fast, and you're just hustling. But when you get to the end, it's like, wow, it was worth it, and nothing didn't even happen to me. There's so many times when I was scared to do stuff, and when I initially stepped out to do it, I kind of felt guilty, because I felt like, you know, I was, you know, going against what people want me to do or whatever, you know. And after I do it, I felt such a peace, you know. And it's an awesome feeling after it. You know, it's like the initial stage, it feels scary and it feels like, you know, maybe you should turn back. But after you go through with it, it's like, It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. So anyway, I really hope this video is an encouragement to somebody out there. Like my whole intention is to encourage people, to help them to be the best that they can be, to realize that in their lives God has orchestrated, and everything that happens for a reason. And even the pain that you go through is for a reason. Everything that you go through, and you might see the reason. You might say, God, so what purpose is this and this? At the moment you might not see it, you know. But then later down the road, something come up, or somebody comes and they're going through the same thing, and now you can tell them, oh, I now see why I had to go through that. Because I had an experience like that, whereby something happened to me and I was so embarrassed about it, you know, and I was like, God, I can't believe you allowed this to happen. And you know, you think, God, you know, why this was so embarrassing. Later down the road, and I think maybe this was like years, maybe 2 years after or 3 years after. Anyway, it was a while after. Then somebody else, you know, had been through the same thing, and they didn't know that I'd been through it. They was just sharing with me. And then now I was able to share with them my experience of when I went through what they went through. And then they felt like, you know, like, wow, somebody else, you know, understands what I've been through. Somebody else has been through what I've been through. And that was a comfort and an encouragement to them, you know. And I didn't know at that point that this is why God had me go through this. Maybe that was the only reason why God had me go through it, you know. And if it was worth it. I mean, when I was going through it, it was like, God, I need a moment. I can't talk to you right now, you know, like, you know, it kind of felt like that. Like, God, why would you allow this to happen to me? I'm so embarrassed. I'm so stretched, you know, like, God, why would you allow this, right? But after now, it's like, I'm glad that I went through it. I don't know if I want to go through it again, but I'm glad that I went through it, because now I can use it to help somebody else, or I was able to use it to help somebody else. The thing that I thought I would never tell anybody, I was able to encourage somebody else with it. And the thing is, I'm getting to that point where I'm not ashamed of my experiences, because I know that it can help somebody. And if people laugh at me, or they make fun of me, or they tell me I'm this or whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. I know, but I believe that God has me go through everything that I go through, as embarrassing as it is, or as painful as it is, to help somebody else later on, and to build my faith and my trust, and to get me strong and mature me, you know. Because in order to build muscles, I need pressure, and pressure sometimes it hurts, you know. Anyway, I know I'm going on and on and on. Anyway, I hope this was an encouragement to you, and if it was, feel free to share it with anybody else. And even if you want to share some form of encouragement in the comment box, feel free to do so. If you haven't subscribed to my channels yet, feel free to subscribe, feel free to share. And yeah, you know, there are things that I can learn from you, you know, it's how you learn from me. So if God has placed something on your heart to share, then go right ahead and share it. Anyway, I hope this video was a really encouragement to you, and thanks for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.